Laci, so what was your reaction when you found out that you were going to be on the team for this tournament?
I was pretty stoked initially, a little nervous for sure, but just really grateful for the opportunity. Definitely a God thing, and I'm really just thankful for Coach Gerlich and the staff for believing in me to just take this role for them.
When did you find out?
So Coach Gerlich called me about a month and a half ago and kind of mentioned it, so we decided to get in the gym a little bit, and then about 2.5 weeks ago she confirmed with me that I would be on the roster for them. So.
Yeah, you graduated high school, I think, a couple years ago, 23?
Yes, sir.
So I guess what was your basketball time since high school? Like, were you playing pickup games or?
Yes, I've played at the rec. I've been on a few intramural teams, so it's just kind of that. And then we actually have manager games for the student assistants and graduate assistants, so that's been the extent of that. So.
What was the team reaction when they found out that you're going to be part of the team?
Initially, everybody was pretty excited for me. I think we were all just kind of like, okay, like this is happening. So they've been great and just have welcomed me with open arms and have been great leaders and great teachers for me.
How long have you been a student manager here?
Going on a year and a half.
Okay. So when you were graduating high school, or I guess when you were a senior, had you thought about, trying to pursue basketball in college, or?
I did. I thought I was going to, and then some things kind of switched my senior year. I had a pretty big injury, so I decided to forego that and just focus on my education, and decided to come to Texas Tech. And then a year went by, and I decided I missed athletics and basketball being around it, so then I decided I would be a student assistant.
What was the injury you had?
My left knee dislocation.
Okay.
So.
Is that during the high school season, or?
Yes, it was 2 weeks before my senior season, so a little devastating.
So you had to miss your senior season?
I missed half of it, and then came back midway through district. So.
No, go ahead.
You ever been out of the country before?
I have actually. I've been to Greece, so that was a lot of fun. I'm excited to be in Germany. I'm part German, so we'll see what that's like.
So what have the practices been like, or is today y'all's first practice, or? So
we've been practicing for about 3 weeks a month now. I've been practicing. This will be starting my 3rd week. So they've been really intense, and they have high expectations here. The coaches do. So getting to be a part of that's really special, and just getting to learn. Definitely a high caliber of play, and these are elite athletes.
Talk about just going to Germany and how that's going to help the team and you guys for the regular year.
Yeah, I think going to Germany is really going to help us just build team chemistry. Obviously, we've had longer than any other college team. Obviously, we've been practicing 20-hour weeks. So obviously, that gives us a little advantage for the regular season. I think it helps us build our on-the-court chemistry and off-the-court. But yeah.
What's it mean to you to play for Team USA in a role like this?
I mean, I think it's a huge honor. Nobody on our team's done that, so I think it's really fun and exciting for us, and it's a big thing for obviously Texas Tech too, for us to go obviously have United States on our chest, and obviously be wearing Texas Tech at the same time. I think it's a big deal for us.
It's like having Laci on the roster.
It's awesome. Yeah, she went from being one of our student assistants to being on the team, so I think she's really been a lot of help for us. Honestly, she's been a great practice player before that, and then now having her on the team, I think she brings a lot of energy to the team, high motor player. Yeah.
Just how last season ended, how nice is it going to feel to just get right back on the court quicker than you normally would?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really nice. Obviously, like we didn't end the season how exactly we wanted to, but also at the same time, we obviously started to get momentum when we started to win a few games there late in the tournament, Big 12 tournament, that is. And honestly, I think that will just roll over into this game. And even though we have a new team, I think we have a lot of returners that are excited to get back out there.
What do you feel like your role is in terms of being a senior and being a leader on this team?
Yeah, I think my role is to be a leader vocally and defensively and offensively, but I would say mostly on the defensive end. Really just when we need to stop, telling the team that's what we need, being that vocal leader out there. We preach on being vocal out there on the court, and I think defense is going to be the one thing that I hopefully can lead this team to be being better at.
What has it been like adjusting to so many new faces on the coaching staff?
I think it's been a good change. Obviously, it was hard at first. When I got here, obviously I had to get used to that coaching staff and now a new one. But honestly, I love every single new coach that we've got. I think they're bringing great energy to the program and great things. I mean, we've changed a few things here and there, but I think all for the better. And I love all of them. Yeah, they've been really good.
What's the biggest difference in style of play, do you think?
I think our pace is really going to be different this year. We've just been moving up and down the court faster than we did even last year. I think that'll be a big thing for us this year, pace offensively and defensively.
Playing in Germany for the World University Games, and your first game is against Germany. What do you think that's going to be like, just playing the host team?
I mean, I've never really played over there and know what the crowd's like, but I've heard that they're pretty big, so I think it'll be a good experience. It'll be fun. Playing against the home team right off the bat. I mean, we'll be ready, hopefully, and yeah, be a good crowd, good environment to play in.
How have the transfers sort of integrated themselves into the team so far?
Yeah, I think they've all kind of found their voice so far. First couple weeks was a little different. Obviously, you're new to the team, and so kind of just look at it and scope it out. But the more time they've been here, the better they've got on and off the court. I think that they've all, like I said, found their voice and really just been kind of more vocal as the days go by.
What's the one site you want to see in Germany?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I mean,
what's the tourist traps yet?
No, I haven't. I've been too busy at the gym, but I think I'm excited to see all of that. I think it's going to be beautiful and a different scenery than it is here. So.
Would you just talk about what it means for you and your program to represent the school in the United States in this university games?
Yeah, it's such an awesome opportunity that was kind of just dropped in our lap a little bit, and we jumped on it immediately when we saw all the benefits that we could gain from it, but also just the opportunity to represent the United States, internationally and to play different countries. I think it's something that every kid that plays sports would love the opportunity to do, and the fact that our girls have that, the ability to go over and to not just represent Texas Tech but the USA is a great responsibility. It's a great opportunity, but just something I think that the experience that they will remember forever.
What went into your decision to include Laci, and just how neat is it that she's going to be part of this roster?
Yeah, so part of the problem with our team going to play in the World University Games is that only our American players can be on our roster. So we have 4 international players that cannot participate in the games. They can practice with us, they can travel, but they can't participate in the games. So we wanted to make sure that this was a Texas Tech experience, but we also want to represent well too. So we had an unfortunate injury with Bailey that we're just being extra cautious with. She's going to be fine, but just extra cautious with. So we invited a couple other players to play with us from other universities, but Laci was one that we knew was here that could immediately practice with us. We could use her in our practices, and she already knows our system. And then obviously we know she's a great high school player and has a great pedigree from her family and her mom, and so I think it's a great opportunity for her to be able to to jump in there and be a Lady Raider and a USA participant.
What have you seen from her in the practices so far?
You know what? She's a fantastic coachable kid. First of all, she can shoot it, which is fantastic, and she understands her role, and she plays super hard, gives us everything she has, and she's a great teammate, very coachable. So she can be a leader in a lot of ways, and she's doing all those things for us.
Just talk about how big this is for the Big 12. Y'all are representing on the women's side, but then we have Baylor men's representing on the men's side.
Yeah, I think it speaks a lot to just the opportunity to be universal with the brand, not just Texas Tech, but also the Big 12. And I think it gives us a great opportunity to go over and to gain some great experience for the season, and then also to just represent and to teach people about Texas Tech, Lubbock, the Big 12, and what we're all about.
Just to talk some about the rules that this team has got to get used to playing in that.
Well, we're excited because it's a shorter shot clock. It's a 24-second shot clock. We've learned a lot of resets are 14 seconds. Even if there's a turnover that we create for somebody and we get it in the back court, then it's a 14-second shot clock. And so we're going to have to score quickly. So that's really good for us to be able to pick up our pace, because we know that's something that we want to do better this season anyway. I think just the timeout situations. You have to tell the table before you call a timeout. You can only call a timeout. You can't call a timeout in live play. You can only call timeouts after made baskets, and that you alerted the table that you're going to do so. So they're going to have to play through some things. They're going to have to play through some adversity and just some tough times. We can't stop it every time it gets out of control. Like they're gonna have to learn how to do that themselves.
What about the ball and like the texture and the feel?
Yeah, there's a little bit of difference in the ball. I think our kids have adjusted to that really well. We were able to get some here so that we can practice with them. But it seems like it might be just a tad bit smaller. I don't know if it really is or not, but a little slicker. But yeah, we're having to get some used to that feel.
How's the adjustments gone with so many new faces on staff?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Loving the energy that our new coaches are bringing. Love the war room sessions that we're having and just bouncing ideas off one another. Love the interaction amongst our kids and the relationships that we're building so quickly. But there has been a lot of change and a lot of transition, not just in our staff, but on our team. And everybody that is here has just accepted it and really adjusted really well. And I think it's been a great feel. We've got really good vibes in practice. Our kids are working super hard. They're learning a lot. And obviously being able to practice more extensively than most summers is certainly going to help us and aid us in the future.
So of the players that last were with you in Florida when you lost the last game, who stood out and improved the most since then?
Yeah, I can't say enough about Denae Fritz. I think she's really stepping up as a leader. She's being very vocal. She's being very demanding of her teammates in certain situations. She's shooting the ball a lot more, really accurate, which has been fun to watch her do. And then she's leading our defense. So I think I'm really proud of just how tough she's being and what a great leader she's being as well. Clearly Bailey's doing that for us as well, but she's having to do it in a different role right now from the sidelines. I think Jalen Bristow has really stepped up and has become much more involved, much more aggressive, much more confident in her game. And I think you're going to see a lot more offensive production out of her this year.
Who among the transfers is kind of standing out early?
Snudda, no doubt, is going to be a game changer for us. She's just having to come back after sitting out for a year is a little bit tough on her right now, but every day she gets better and better. And boy, you can see glimpses of her really being able to score the basketball and just being an elite athlete. So that's been fun to watch her do that. Sydney Love is having to play the point for us quite a bit right now because Gemma is not going to be able to play with us over there, and so she's having to learn a lot. She's more of a combo guard, but she's been able to learn our system a little bit better because she's having to play the point guard position, and I think that's helped us as well and it helped her. Jada Malone, she's we're kind of coming off some minor injuries with her, and so we're getting some limited minutes, but we're starting to see what kind of impact she can have for us in the paint, and I think that's going to be really huge for us when it comes time for the regular season.
Krista, the decisions on the extra players to bring with the team, what went into that, and ultimately deciding who you were?
So, it's interesting because the timeline was really hard for us because we were still putting our roster together and they were demanding that we give rosters. But, Baylor was in a similar situation, probably a worse situation than we were on the men's side because they had to fill the whole roster. So we were trying to save spots in case we had late additions to sign. And so we didn't know quite what that was going to look like. When we got to our 12 on our roster and realized that 4 of them are international, that's when we were like, okay, we need to find some kids that maybe are local so that they could come practice with us, but then also some kids that could really help us because we need some help on the inside because 3 of our 4 international kids are post players, so we're a little bit small. So adding Deanna Gaston was definitely a Katera Chapel thing. One of our new coaches came from Auburn and had a really good relationship with her. Clearly, I was familiar with her game from her playing at Texas, and we knew that she could help us inside, and she was available, and she's in shape, and she's been playing to participate overseas and professionally, so that was huge for us, for her to agree to play with us. And then Kennedy Winfrey, I've known her for years. She's played at UNLV. The past 3 or 4 years, she's transferred back to West Texas A&M, where she's from. We knew that would be an easy location. She'd be able to get here. But then also I know her basketball IQ and her basketball background, so she's going to already know a lot of the things that we do and just our philosophy and be fundamentally sound and really coachable. So those two kids I thought filled needs, but also they were just smart choices that fit with what we were trying to do.
Coach, what do you think the biggest change in the style of play is going to be? You talked about the fast pace. Is that the biggest change you think from this coming year?
I think, yes, for this coming year. Yes, I do think that obviously the style of the pace has to improve. I mean, we want to play faster. We're going to be more athletic and I think longer in some positions and more skilled. So I think that our production level will be better inside, especially. I think that you saw us go to a lot of 4 guards last year because of just pure point production, and I think we'll have more of a presence inside in the paint, which is going to be huge, and just being able to, I think our chemistry is going to be really good because of the smaller roster, and then this opportunity to go for the summer.
I gather y'all are holding Bailey out of the university games.
Yes, yeah, we will. She'll basically be a coach on the sideline, which has been really good for us. She's actually going to be released here in just a couple of days, but we just don't feel like that's a very smart move.
Going back to playing in Germany, Christian Anderson and Grant just wrapped up today.
Who won?
USA.
Okay,
But
yeah.
Anderson had a great game for
Awesome.
Germany. But they are wrapping up, and then y'all leave in a little over a week. Just talk about Texas Tech women and men's basketball representing out in Germany.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, right? I mean, it's a great opportunity. I love that they put us against Germany in the first round of the pool play. I'm sure to make sure that we met each other so that there would build up some anticipation, build up some excitement. We have no idea what to expect. We've gone back and looked at other university games that they've played, and they've had fantastic crowds. It was in different countries, but we're expecting a fantastic crowd, and for that to be our first game in a foreign country in front of their home crowd, I think that's going to provide a great deal of experience for us that we'll be able to lean on deep into our season this next year.
And then outside of the game aspect, is there anything that you're looking forward to doing out in Germany?
I don't know how much we're going to get to do because it's a quite a schedule for us to do, but I think really it's more of obviously the sightseeing might be great, and I've never been to Germany, so I've heard it's beautiful, but I think really it's more of the USA experience and being in an international tournament and it feeling like the Olympics. I just feel like the way that they're putting it together, there's an athletes village where the athletes stay. I think there's other sports that are played. There's 18 other countries. Just getting to interact with those kids and those athletes, getting to see other athletes of other sports, being able to walk in the opening ceremonies, it just gives me chills that all these kids are going to get that opportunity, and I think it's going to be an incredible experience for us.
You want to win it.
We do want to win it, of course, yes. Gold is the standard, yes.
Anything else?